Hello and good evening. You're watching Sabha TV News Tonight. I'm your anchor, Rajat Kane. Now, before we go to the headlines, here is a small appeal by Sabha TV to all our viewers. Please stay safe from COVID-19 pandemic. Wear face masks, wash hands and face regularly and maintain physical distancing while stepping outside. Remember, these simple precautions are all that it takes to defeat the pandemic. Well, and now over to the headlines. On the auspicious occasion of Mahashashti, Prime Minister Modi addresses people of West Bengal, pays tribute to state icons, inaugurate Durga Puja event in Kolkata, assures that centre is relentlessly working for rapid development of the state. Well, COVID-19 recovery rate goes up to 89.2%. India relaxes international travel restrictions. All visa except electronic, tourist and medical visas restored. BJP unveils vision for self-reliant Bihar, pledges jobs and free coronavirus vaccine. JDU poll manifesto focuses on empowering women and youth. Campaigning by prominent leaders of RJD, Congress and the LJP. Well, voters turn up in large numbers to vote in Ladakh Autonomous Hill Development Council Leh election. Now, 94 candidates are in fray for 26 seats. Results to be declared on 26th of this month. India observes Black Day to remind world of Pakistan's barbaric deeds in Jammu and Kashmir on 22nd of October 1947. Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha exhorts people never to forget sacrifices made by Kashmiris in fight against Pakistan. Well, news in details. Prime Minister Narendra Modi took part in Durga Puja celebrations in West Bengal on Thursday via video conferencing, paying tributes to icons of Bengal including Rabindranath Tagore, Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay, Subhash Chandra Bose and others. Prime Minister said Bengal has always led the way for India. He asserted that his government is making all the efforts to ensure development in the state. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the Shashti celebrations in Kolkata, Salt Lake via video conferencing. Addressing the celebrations, Prime Minister Modi said, the festival reflects the unity and strength of India along with traditions and culture of Bengal. Adding that all-round development of Bengal is essential to fulfill the government's vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat, the Prime Minister asserted that government is following the mantra of Purvodaya or East First policy for the state.
21वीं सदी में आत्मनिर्भर भारत का ये नया संकल्प भी बंगाल की धरती से ही मजबूत होगा। हम बंगाल के गौरव को, बंगाल के उद्यम और बंगाल के उद्योग को, यहाँ की समृद्धि और संपन्नता को नई ऊंचाइयों पर पहुंचाना है। भाजपा की केंद्र सरकार ने पूर्वोदय का मंत्र अपनाया है। जहां सूर्योदय हम देखते हैं पहला, उसी दिशा का पूर्वोदय। पूर्वी भारत के विकास के लिए निरंतर फैसले लिए हैं। पूर्वोदय के इस मिशन में पश्चिम बंगाल को महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभानी है। मुझे भरोसा है कि पूर्वोदय का केंद्र बनकर पश्चिम बंगाल जल्द ही एक नई दिशा की तरफ बढ़ेगा।
Noting that goddess Durga was worshipped as symbol of Shakti, Prime Minister Modi said his government is consistently working for women empowerment, highlighting his government schemes for women like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, Jan Dhan Yojana and loans under Mudra Yojana. The Prime Minister said the government has made strict laws against triple talaq and included death penalty in anti-rape law.
चाहे नाइट शिफ्ट में काम करने के अधिकार हो या फिर मैटरनिटी लीव को 12 हफ्ते से बढ़ाकर 26 हफ्ते करना, चाहे गहरी खदानों में भी काम करने की स्वीकृति हो या फिर सेना में परमानेंट कमीशन, देश की नारी शक्ति को सशक्त करने के लिए निरंतर काम किया जा रहा है। महिलाओं की सुरक्षा को लेकर भी सरकार सजग है। रेप की सजा से जुड़े कानूनों को बहुत सख्त किया गया है। दुराचार करने वालों को मृत्यु दंड तक का प्रावधान हुआ है। भारत ने जो नया संकल्प लिया है, आत्मनिर्भर भारत के जिन अभियान पर हम निकले हैं, उसमें भी नारी शक्ति की बहुत बड़ी भूमिका है।
The Prime Minister once again urged people to take all precautions against novel coronavirus during the festival time.
आयोजन भले ही सीमित है, लेकिन उत्सव का रंग, उल्लास, आनंद असीमित है। यही तो बंगाल की पहचान है। यही तो बंगाल की चेतना है। यही तो असली बंगाल है। हाँ, मेरा आपसे ये आग्रह जरूर है कि मां दुर्गा के पूजा के साथ ही आप 2 गज की दूरी, मास्क पहनने और अन्य नियमों का पालन भी पूरी निष्ठा से करें।
He said though the festival was being celebrated on a limited scale due to pandemic, the enthusiasm is unlimited and the spirit of Durga Puja remains intact. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
As India's recovery rate inches closer to 90%, active COVID cases have dropped to 7.15 lakh. Even national case fatality rate, that's the CFR, has dropped to 1.51%. Now, ICMR has informed that India has achieved a remarkable milestone of 10 crore tests for COVID-19. The Union Health Ministry said that on the global scale, India continues to report one of the lowest cases per million population. Here is a detailed report.
The country's COVID-19 recovery rate crossed 89% on Thursday. As many as 79,415 patients have recovered and were discharged in last 24 hours. 55,839 new cases were reported during the period. The national recovery rate has now risen to 89.2%. The Health Ministry said total recoveries have crossed 68,74,000. Actual cases have fallen to 9.29% of the total positive cases. Total active cases in the country are 7,15,000. In the past 24 hours, 55,838 new cases have been reported, taking the number of positive cases in the country to over 77 lakhs. In the last 24 hours, 702 deaths were reported, taking the toll to 1,16,616. The Union Health Ministry said the active cases of COVID-19 in India have remained below 10% of the total caseload for the last 3 days, suggesting that only 1 in 10 cases are active coronavirus patients. It said the effective implementation of strategic and graded test, track and treat approach has led to higher recoveries and lower fatalities. Currently, India's case fatality rate is 1.51%, which is among the lowest globally. The daily positivity rate has been less than 5% over past 3 days. 81% of new recovered cases are concentrated in 10 states and union territories. The highest single-day recovery of over 23,000 figure has come from Maharashtra alone. Maharashtra and Kerala are still reporting a very high number of new cases, with over 8,000 cases each, followed by Karnataka with over 5,000 cases. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, the government has decided to make graded relaxation in visa and travel restrictions for more categories of foreign nationals and Indian nationals who wish to enter or leave India. The Ministry of Home Affairs on Thursday announced permission for all overseas citizens of India and persons of Indian origin, card holders and all other foreign nationals to visit India for any purpose except on tourist visa. Now, under this graded relaxation, the government will restore immediate effect all existing visa except electronic visa, tourist visa and medical visa. All such travelers will, however, have to strictly adhere to health ministry guidelines on quarantine and other health or the COVID-19 matters. Well, India successfully carried out final trial of Nag anti-tank guided missile with a waterhead. The test was carried out on Thursday morning at Pokhran field firing ranges in Rajasthan. During the trial, the missile was integrated with an actual warhead to hit a tank target. Launched from the Nag missile carrier Namika, the missile hit target accurately and defeated dummy tank's armor. The DRDO has developed the anti-tank guided missile or ATGM Nag. The Nag missile is third-generation anti-tank guided missile with top attack capabilities to effectively engage and destroy all known enemies' tank during day and night. It has range of 4 to 7 kilometers and is fitted with an advanced seeker to home on its target. With this final user trial, Nag will enter production phase and will be produced by the defense firm Bharat Dynamics Limited. The Defense Minister Rajnath Singh congratulated the DRDO and Indian Army for successful trial. The missile is now ready for induction into the Indian Army. Chief of Army Staff General M.M. Narwane commissioned the anti-submarine warfare stealth corvette INS Kavarati into Indian Navy on Thursday. Now, INS Kavarati is a combat-ready platform that has completed sea trials of systems fitted on board. INS Kavarati has state-of-art weapons and sensor suite capable of detecting and prosecuting submarines. In addition to its anti-submarine warfare capabilities, the ship has a self-defense capability and good endurance for long-range deployment. INS Kavarati is last of the 4 indigenously built ASW stealth corvettes under Project 28. It has been designed by Indian Navy's in-house wing, the Directorate of Naval Design. Labour Minister Santosh Kumar Gangwar on Thursday released new series of Consumer Price Index for industrial workers with 2016 base year in New Delhi. Gangwar said the CPIW is used primarily for measuring dearness allowance payable to workers in organized sector, including public sector undertakings, banks and insurance companies beside government employees. He said earlier the base year for the CPIW was 2001. The minister called it an important economic indicator. Well, moving on, India has said that Pakistan has not yet complied with all 27 points of Financial Action Task Force Action Plan. Now, 6 of its major recommendations are yet to be fulfilled by Pakistan in order to come out of the grey list. Addressing media, MEA spokesperson Anurag Srivastava said that Pakistan continues to provide a safe haven to terrorists and has not taken any action against several terrorist entities and individuals, including those who have been proscribed by the United Nations Security Council, such as Masood Azhar, Dawood Ibrahim and Zakiur Rahman Lakwi. This will be considered in FATF plenary tomorrow. He said Pakistan forces have continued to engage in unprovoked ceasefire violation and have often these violations happened from civilian areas to support infiltration of terrorists across the line of control.
What I can tell you is this year till date, Pakistani forces have carried out 3,800 unprovoked ceasefire violations. There have also been attempts to drop arms and ammunition across the LOC in the garb of civilian activities. We have also witnessed that Pakistan's aid and abetment to cross-border terrorism, smuggling of arms and narcotic substances has spilled over to the international boundary, including through usage of drones and quadcopters. Such violations are regularly highlighted to Pakistan through diplomatic channels and at the regular DGMO level meetings.
Well, the Ministry of External Affairs has said that efforts are on to restore peace at Indo-China border in eastern Ladakh. The emphasis is on pulling back troops of both sides from areas of conflict and restoring status quo. For this, talks have been going on under the WMCC framework and also at military commanders level.
The immediate task is to ensure a comprehensive disengagement of troops in all the friction areas. In this context, the 19th meeting of the working mechanism for consultation and coordination in the India-China border areas, that is the WMCC, this was held on the 30th of September 2020. And this was followed by the 7th meeting of the senior commanders in Chushul on 12th of October. The two sides have reiterated their desire to maintain dialogue and communication through military and diplomatic channels and arrive at a mutually acceptable solution for disengagement as early as possible.
A 5-member central team reached Telangana on Thursday to assess damage caused by floods in the state. The team was headed by Joint Secretary Praveen Vasista, will visit affected districts in Hyderabad over the next 2 days. The team includes members from Ministries of Finance, Agriculture, Road Transport and Highways and Jal Shakti Ministry. Last week, Hyderabad received its highest rainfall in a century that flooded low-lying areas and caused dams and lakes to overflow. Nearly 70 people lost their lives. The economic losses were estimated at 5,000 crore Indian rupee. Well, moving on to election-related news, the BJP on Thursday released its poll manifesto for Bihar elections, promising free COVID vaccine and 19 lakhs job in the state. Senior BJP leader, Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, along with other senior leaders, released poll manifesto in Patna. In the manifesto, the BJP has made 11 big resolutions with the slogan 5 Sutra, Ek Lakshya, 11 Sankalp. Now, carrying the tagline, BJP hai to bharosa hai, Sitharaman said as soon as the COVID-19 vaccine will be available for production at mass scale, every person in Bihar will get free vaccination. She said 19 lakh job opportunities will be created in health, education, agriculture, education and other sectors. BJP promised to appoint 3 lakhs new teachers in the state and to make medical education, including technical education in Hindi language. In its Sankalp Patra, the BJP expressed its commitment to turn Bihar into an information technology hub.
प्रधानमंत्री जी पिछले 6 साल में गरीब के लिए कितने कार्यक्रम प्रॉमिस किए वो सब इंप्लीमेंट कर दिखाया, चाहे वो हर गांव तक बिजली हो, चाहे वो गरीब महिला के लिए गैस सिलेंडर का सप्लाई हो, रसोई गैस का, और हर भारतीय नागरिक को फिनेंशियल इंक्लूजन के नाम पर बैंक अकाउंट दिलवाना हो। ये सब प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने प्रॉमिस करके उसको इंप्लीमेंट भी कर दिखाया।
In a related development, the ruling JDU or Janata Dal United on Thursday released its manifesto for Bihar Assembly polls. It was released by JDU State President Bashishth Narayan Singh. The manifesto has the slogan Pure Hote Wade, Ab Hai Nai Irade, that is, promises being fulfilled, now new intentions. The party has resolved to ensure progress of the state's youth, finding financial solutions and empowering youth and women of Bihar. He also reiterated the 7 promises that he had tweeted earlier this month and assured that they will be fulfilled.
नीतीश कुमार की एक खासियत है, एक विशेषता है और उनकी काम करने की पद्धति है जिसमें पूरा आकलन करें, किसी भी बात को आश्वासन देते हैं और आश्वासन देते हैं तो पूरा होता है।
Well, the campaigning has intensified in poll-bound areas of Bihar. RJD leader Tejasvi Yadav held multiple public meetings in support of candidates of the Grand Alliance. Now, addressing election rallies in Dumrao, Shahpur, Ramgarh areas, he targeted Nitish Kumar government over developmental issues in the state. BJP senior leader and Defence Minister Rajnath Singh held public meetings at Nokha and Nabinagar. Addressing a gathering in Bar town, he said NDA government has ensured inclusive development of all sections of society without any discrimination. Lok Janshakti Party President Chirag Paswan also campaigned to garner support for the LJP candidates. He addressed public meetings in Sikandra and Sheikhpura districts in Bihar. Well, voting for 6 Ladakh Autonomous Hill Development Council elections ended peacefully on Thursday with over 65% voter turnout. Voting for 26 seats was held between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. in 294 polling stations. For the first time in the history of these local polls, voters cast their votes using electronic voting machines. Elaborate arrangements were made by local administrators for smooth conduct of polls. 94 candidates are in fray for 26 seats, the results of which will be declared on the October 26th. BJP and the Congress Party have fielded their candidates in all the 26 constituency, while Aam Aadmi Party fielded its candidates in 19 candidates, and 23 independents are also in the fray. The 5th term of the present BJP-led Ladakh Autonomous Hill Development Council ends on October 30th. This is first electoral exercise in Ladakh after region was carved out of Jammu and Kashmir on August 5, 2019 and declared a separate union territory.
आज हमारे यहाँ 6th LSDC इलेक्शंस का अभी कंप्लीट हुआ और जो हमारे यहाँ परसेंटेज ऑफ वोटिंग रही वो 65.07% जो एक्चुअल में रहा है और ये फाइनल है 65.07.
A two-day symposium on the memories of 22nd October 1947 started in Kashmir on Thursday. 22nd October Day is observed as Black Day to mark Pakistan's invasion of Kashmir in 1947. It's an attempt to remind the world how Pakistan is responsible for the unrest in the region and the continuous conflict, violence and terrorism in Kashmir. On 22nd October 1947, 2 months after India's partition, Pakistani raiders invaded Jammu and Kashmir, the illegally occupied areas leading to military conflict with Pakistan. Thousands of men, women and children were killed while raiders carried out siege of Baramulla. Pakistan entered into ceasefire agreement with Maharaja of Kashmir on August 12, 1947. On October 26, 1947, Pakistan unilaterally broke the agreement. It was after this attack that Maharaja Hari Singh signed the instrument of accession, merging the state of Jammu and Kashmir with the Union of India on 26 October 1947. Since then, Pakistan has sought to turn world opinion by concealing its role in 1947 invasion. This has been the basis of sowing doubts about accession of Jammu and Kashmir into India. Thursday's program by the National Museum Institute is the first time that Pakistani narrative is being challenged in the last 7 decades.
हमें नहीं भूलना चाहिए कि कश्मीर और कश्मीरियत पर 22 अक्टूबर को जो घाव दिए गए थे उसके पीछे पूरा का पूरा पाकिस्तानी प्रशासन लगा हुआ था. हमें 22 अक्टूबर की वह सुबह भी नहीं भूलनी चाहिए जब पाकिस्तानी फौज और उसके प्रॉक्सीज ने गढ़ी हबीबुल्ला को क्रॉस करके मुजफ्फराबाद पर हमला किया था.
Well, the department-related Parliamentary Standing Committee on Energy will examine and report subjects like power tariff policy and performance of power plants of thermal and hydro sectors. After the reconstitution of committees, Ranjan Singh has been appointed as chairman of the Committee on Energy.
The Standing Committee on Energy considered the selection of subjects for examination during the year 2020-21. Topics for the Ministry of Power include role of regulators in electricity sector, energy audit, integrated power development scheme, functioning of Power System Operation Corporation Limited in grid management, development of power sector, evaluation of power transmission system in matching evacuation demands, review of power tariff policy structure across the country, contribution of Central Electricity Authority in balanced development of electricity sector, operations of load dispatch centers and power exchanges, performance of power plants of thermal and hydro sectors, Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gram Jyoti Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Sehaj Bijli Har Ghar Yojana, role and significance of Ujjwal Discom Assurance Yojana, in financial turnaround of Discoms, carbon footprints of power generation in India, delay in execution or completion of power projects by power sector companies, and development of coal blocks allocated to power sector companies. Meanwhile, subjects under the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy for examination include role of PSUs or institutions under Ministry of New and Renewable Energy in development of renewable energy schemes, grid connectivity, grid connection for renewable energy, including captive renewable power plants, action plan for achievement of 175 gigawatt renewable energy target, measures to make distribution, marketing of renewable energy affordable and effective, need for long-term renewable energy policy and legal reforms, research, design and development in renewable energy sector, tidal power development in India, renewable energy potential and harnessing, evaluation of the role of renewable energy in electricity sector, reasons for lack of manufacturing base for renewable components or equipment, financial constraints in renewable energy sector, evaluation of solar and wind energy in India. The Committee on Energy was first constituted in the year 1993. It is serviced by the Lok Sabha Secretariat. The committee scrutinizes matters related to Ministry of Power and Ministry of New and Renewable Energy and reports on the same to both Houses of Parliament. Kriti Mishra, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, the first meeting of the Standing Committee on Science, Technology, Environment, Forest and Climate Change was held on Thursday. The panel heard from various ministries on the impact of air pollution on COVID-19 pandemic at national level and measures taken under National Clean Air Programme. Rajya Sabha member Jairam Ramesh heads the committee.
The Standing Committee on Science and Technology, Environment, Forest and Climate Change met on Thursday to decide the future program of the panel. The committee is examining the impact of air pollution on the COVID-19 pandemic at the national level and measures taken under National Clean Air Programme. In this regard, it heard from Secretaries of Ministries of Environment, Forest and Climate Change and Housing and Urban Affairs and also from the Health and Family Welfare. Panel members from the upper house are Anil Baluni, R.S. Bharati, Vandana Chavan, Hishle Lachungpa, Parimal Nathwani, Bhaskar Rao Nikanti, Jairam Ramesh, Ashwani Vaishnav, Ravi Prakash Sharma and Binoy Viswam. Members from the Lok Sabha are Goharam Ajgale, Pradhan Barua, E.T. Mohammad Bashir, Jashwant Singh Suman Bhai Babhor, Sudarshan Bhagat, Anant Kumar Hegde, S. Jagat Rakshan, Muhammad Azam Khan, Jyotsna Charandas Mahant, Dr. Swami Sakshi Maharaj, Asaduddin Owaisi, Dr. Ranjan Kumar Rajkumar, Kota Prabhakar Reddy, Dr. Jayant Kumar Roy, Shatabdi Roy, Mahesh Sahu, Francisco Sardina, Anurag Sharma, Ram Shiromani, Kirti Vardhan Singh and Dr. Ramapati Ram Tripathi. The committee is serviced by Rajya Sabha Secretariat. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, the Joint Committee on the Personal Data Protection Bill 2019 held its meeting on Thursday. Oral evidence by representative of the Forum for Integrated Security, Mumbai, was on agenda. The Personal Data Protection Bill 2019 intends to regulate the processing or usage of individuals' data by state and private entities. The committee was given an extension to submit its report by the second week of winter session in 2021. JPC, which was formed in Lok Sabha last year, consists of 20 members from Lok Sabha and 10 from Rajya Sabha respectively. The committee is headed by BJP MP Meenakshi Lekhi. Well, that's it in this bulletin. Thanks for watching Rajya Sabha TV. But before we leave, we once again appeal to all our viewers to stay safe from COVID-19 pandemic. Wear face masks, wash hands and face regularly and maintain physical distancing while stepping outside. Remember, these small precautions are all that it takes to defeat the pandemic. Thank you and stay safe.